In the tech world, every so often, one single move can just change the entire game. Today, we're going to dive into one of those moments. It's a high-stakes battle for the future of AI, and it features a legendary underdog making the biggest bet of its life.
So I want you to just think about that for a sec. What if a single partnership, just one, had enough power to challenge a monopoly, completely redraw the map of Silicon Valley, and basically define the next decade of tech? Because that's exactly what might be happening right now.
And boom, here it is, the bombshell. AMD, the eternal challenger, and OpenAI, the undisputed leader in generative AI, they've joined forces. And let me be clear, this is not just another business deal. This is a strategic alliance aimed right at the heart of the AI market. To really wrap your head around the scale of this, you have to look at this number, 6 gigawatts. That is the mind-boggling amount of computing power AMD has to deliver to OpenAI. To put that into perspective, that's enough juice to power millions of homes. And all of it is being channeled into building the AI that's going to write our emails and create our art. And with that kind of massive scale comes massive amounts of money. We're talking Wall Street analysts projecting this deal could be worth tens of billions, maybe even over $100 billion for AMD in the long run. So the key takeaway here is this. This single deal could fundamentally transform AMD as a company. All right, so who is this company that's suddenly at the center of the entire AI universe? Let's get a quick rundown on the challenger, AMD. Now, AMD's been around for decades, often kind of living in the shadows of its bigger rivals. They got into the GPU game by buying ATI way back in 2006. But the real story, the modern comeback story, that all starts in 2014. That's when Lisa Su takes over as CEO and kicks off what has become a legendary turnaround with their Zen architecture. And you really truly cannot tell the modern AMD story without talking about Lisa Su. She is almost universally seen as the architect of this incredible comeback. She had the vision to pivot the company's focus from just consumer PCs to the really high-growth, high-profit world of data centers and, you guessed it, AI. What's so great about this is it lays out AMD's battlefronts perfectly. With their Ryzen chips, they're fighting Intel for your PC and laptop. With their EPYC server chips, they're also fighting Intel, but in the data center. And then there's Instinct, the accelerators at the heart of the OpenAI deal. And with those, they are taking on the undisputed heavyweight champion of AI, NVIDIA. So what is AMD actually bringing to this fight? Let's take a look at the specific hardware and software that's making this whole OpenAI partnership even possible. Okay, the star of the show is the Instinct family of chips, especially the upcoming MI450. These things are absolute beasts, purpose-built to handle the insane workloads of generative AI. They are packed with huge amounts of super-fast memory and are obsessed with power efficiency, which, as you can imagine, is absolutely crucial when you're building something at a gigawatt scale. This is AMD's weapon of choice. But look, hardware is only half the story. The real battlefield here is software. NVIDIA's CUDA is the king. It's the industry standard, a powerful locked-in ecosystem. Think of it like Apple's iOS. Then you have AMD's ROCm. It's the open source challenger, more like Android. It's all about flexibility, but has a massive hill to climb to break NVIDIA's software advantage. This might be AMD's single greatest challenge. And that brings us right to the core of this whole story. AMD is making an incredibly bold move here, but the risks, well, they're just as massive as the potential rewards. And this just shows you the momentum AMD has right now. They just posted their best quarter ever, a new company record for revenue, and it's all being driven by their growing power in the data center. So they aren't stumbling into this fight. They are striding in from a position of real strength. So let's look at the bull case. How could AMD actually win this? Well, for starters, the demand for AI compute right now is basically infinite. The OpenAI deal gives them a customer like no one else. They're still gaining ground with their server chips, their software is getting better, and they have the manufacturing muscle to actually build all this stuff. The wind is definitely at their back. But we have to be clear about the risks. That NVIDIA software moat we talked about, it is very real and very hard to cross. And actually delivering on a gigawatt-scale project is a monumental challenge. On top of that, their stock price is already assuming a lot of this will go perfectly, adding global politics and the small fact that NVIDIA isn't just sitting around, and you can see this path as anything but easy. So when you put it all together, how could this whole thing play out?
Well, I think you can break it down into three possible futures for AMD. So, in the bull case, everything goes right. AMD absolutely nails the OpenAI deal. Their software takes off, and they become a true equal to NVIDIA. In the base case, they become a solid, respectable number two, grabbing a big slice of the pie, but not the biggest. But in the bear case, the execution stumbles, the software never quite catches on, and NVIDIA's dominance just rolls on.
So, how can you keep track of this yourself? Keep an eye on these four things. 1. Their quarterly data center revenue. 2. Any news on the MI450 deployment for OpenAI. 3. Look for other big customers adopting their ROCm software. And 4. Watch their gross margins. Are they actually making more profit from these AI chips? That'll tell you if the bet is paying off.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this deal with OpenAI an absolute masterstroke that secures AMD's spot at the top for the next decade? Or is it a bet so huge, so ambitious, that the company is risking flying just a little too close to the sun? The race for AI supremacy is on, and honestly, the outcome is anyone's guess.